into the game now. So let's head over to the in-game screen. So welcome to set number 3 for today on the EGC TV B stream. And boy, oh boy, do we have a good matchup for you today, because we have Louis spawning up here in the north side of the map in the color green. Who's he going to be up against?
In the red, we have the Roost player, SortOf. We've seen 3 of his series already on this B stream, as MrMerlin mentioned. Please do drop a follow if you're enjoying the B stream content. We're trying to hit that goal of 500 before we get into this game. And now we're going to see, we do see Louis going for 2 scouts. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a third to try to get the Roost player as low bounty as possible. But also the benefit of the mines going that 2 scout openings, they can just turn them into warrior scouts later.
Yeah, and interestingly here, SortOf didn't go for a second scout from the town center. This is something we usually see a lot of players go for. They go for a second scout from the TC and then a third scout from the hunting cabin. But SortOf taking a different approach here, just deciding to go for 2 scouts and trying it from the hunting cabin there. Which means I think Louis is going to be able to get some decent bounty takeaway here from SortOf, because, you know, he's had this second scout out for a lot longer. He's going to be denying away all of these wolves that we see in the corner of this map, as this is high view. A very good map typically for the Roost because of all these wolves, because of all the, you know, all of the bounty that they have access to. But Louis, at the moment, I think he's looking pretty happy when it comes to the bounty denying. You know, already taken out a deer pack here. This one looks like it will get taken out by Louis as well. So, pretty decent start by him here.
Yeah, I like that dash, and really showing that he knows the map super well. A third scout popping out for SortOf, which I think is going to be... He's going to be very sad to find that Louis went that 2 scout build really quickly, and also was able to find a bunch of wolves in that top right-hand corner, which is super unfortunate for SortOf, as it was not able to find the same plethora of wolves, only 1 over here. So I think, yeah, I would agree with you. LoueMT is going to be very happy with the start of this game.
Yeah, and we see SortOf here. He doesn't even have tier 1, and we can tell that because none of the villagers have a glow around them. Tier 1 comes in, we see a glow around them, and, you know, with already 2 minutes, 30 seconds into this game, SortOf's on 3 scouts and doesn't have tier 1 yet. There we go, finally going to be grabbing it. But that's coming in really late, and at this point, Louis denied away so much bounty. You know, both deer patches have been taken down. A load of wolves have been taken out as well. It's going to be rough to see if SortOf can actually even grab tier 2. So we'll keep an eye on that. 17 gold a minute is tier 1 here. So if this goes up at all, we'll know if he's on tier 2. But it's going to be rough for him. And we can see Louis is going to be aging up already. 5 villagers here on the Mansa Quarry. SortOf. He's going to be edging up. He doesn't have enough gold.
He does it because he doesn't have enough. The bounty didn't get him enough.
He's grabbing wheelbarrow first. I've never seen this much of a late age up coming from a Roost player before. This feels really rough, and this is a consequence of gambling the wheelbarrow here. But SortOf is finally going to be able to get that age up through. Kremlin is being constructed here. 5 villagers on the landmark. Decent spot for it, but yeah, that feels rough getting the age up through that late.
Yeah, I think if you go out of the caster mode, you click the little eye in the bottom right-hand corner, and then click on SortOf, we can see the exact bounty he has of the overlay.
I can do that, but it lags out quite a bit, so I tend to avoid it. We can see there only the tier 1. Oh, 240. I kind of want to stay here for a second, but like...
Yeah. Just to see if he can get that 250.
I don't think he will.
I don't think there's anything left.
Yeah, there's nothing left. Oh, that's rough. We'll check back in a minute. But yeah, if you can't get tier 2, that's that's rough, especially on high view. Like this is meant to be
scouts.
Yeah, right. 3 scouts and only tier 1 bounty. I'm starting to feel a bit of a Marine Lord song on my mind at the moment. But...
You know what? Actually, that's exactly why I wanted you to click it. I know that it might have lagged it a little bit, but I was in my heart of hearts, I wanted it to say 80 so badly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, the sheep just got taken away. They were
oh, yeah.
they were gonna get dropped off, and then they're like, no, you're going for another run. They determined that they needed some exercise, some marathoning sheep in for it.
Luckily, SortOf does have some sheep still under there, so it won't go idle, or hopefully it shouldn't go idle. And now we see Louis. He's going for the inevitable build. I mean, yeah. It's going to be warrior scouts. And I wonder if we're going to be seeing professional scouts out of him here. Because we do have the mill coming down. It's the perfect opportunity to pick up all of these deer. We see here SortOf hasn't denied away any of the deer with the Kremlin. So could definitely be an opportunity here for Louis to go into that. See more houses adding in to the pit mine now. So we'll shortly have enough gold to grab professional scouts if that's the way. Yeah, there we go. He's going to be going for it.
Yeah, you made the call. It was a good call. Needs to get as much food as humanly possible. As we can see, the Kremlin Gremlins just kind of just scouting their way around, just seeing what they can see. I don't know exactly what they're looking for besides these scouts, but it could be a little bit of anything. And here we go, getting a nice little engage onto this. The Kremlins are going to get... They're not going to get any...
No,
they're not going to get anything.
The health regen on these things is just too stupid. Like, oh, he may get one. Oh, did manage to take one down.
The Commando Pro gets it.
I mean, that's value right there for the militia. Like, even if you take out one, it's already worth it. I mean, militia just super, super cheap. So, taking that one scout like that's already worth it. But Louis still looking in a decent spot. He's still got 4 warrior scouts. Professional scouts about to come in for him as well. SortOf, on the other hand, starting to make some horsemen now to deal with these warrior scouts as well as some spears.
Yes, and in the chat, can you get bounty from sheep?
No, you cannot. No,
I wish you could. I'm sure a lot of Roost players would love if that was the case, because they'd be getting bounty for days. But unfortunately, you cannot get bounty from sheep. It might be a cool add-in though if you got bounty from your opponent's sheep.
That used to be the case. I'm not sure if you're
really?
around. Yeah. I think it was season 2 it got changed. They removed... It used to be 5 bounty a sheep, but they removed it. And
probably a good call.
Yeah, Roos was extremely good before that. But looks like SortOf's going to be going for a second TC here. 9 villagers. And he's going to be looking to secure up the deer. Makes sense, right, when you're up against Malian scouts here with professional scouts. So... You know, you're going to be able to deny away this deer pack, but, I mean, Louis is still open to grab this one here as well. So...
Yeah. He can move out and about with these professional scouts, get tons and tons of food, and we're just going to see, I mean, Louis is just feeling very comfortable right now, has his pit mines up, just hanging out, just kind of waiting and seeing for that castle age when he gets up to there, and then he just start to... Now we see all these deer just getting dropped off and deposited. Maybe he's going to see and turn around and see if he can do a little bit of damage on the back-end side to the Roost player, but otherwise, I feel like Louis is feeling in a really good spot right now.
I think Louis is very happy to just bring in all of the deer and then look towards a castle age. He is starting to make some archers, though, so maybe looking to play it out a little bit more in the feudal age here. But, I mean, he's got up so many houses around these pit mines. He's going to have a steady gold income. He could always just look towards a castle age now. But maybe he's got plans with this town center, as we do see here. SortOf. He's going to be walling up this deer pack. Does not want Louis to get his hands on this deer whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. He's looking to get the most value as humanly possible out of these. And what is that? That's a market.
Oh, no. What is
We're
going on?
We're gonna double down on the Malian hate. We're gonna go from picking the Malians in general and then dropping trade as well. Oh.
And people wonder why they hate the Malians. Oh,
yeah, this
God.
is a perfect example. I mean, his PR team is probably rioting in the streets right now because, I mean, no one wants to see this. My goodness.
Looks like Louis is adding in some sofa now. Still training a few archers. Has a barracks down as well. Looks like a market is going to get set up in the north side of the map. So he's going to be going heavy into trade here. Wonder what SortOf's response to this is. He's just looking to add in some knights now. He's got a singular horseman, a singular knight. A few spears in here as well. Doesn't have any archers through yet, despite having an archery range. There we go. First one is now in the queue.
Yeah, I mean, has SortOf scouted out this? If he does... I don't think he knows the trade is here.
SortOf only has the one scout.
Yeah, he's not even expecting this to come out, so it might be more of a surprise.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the problem with trying to scout up against the Malians. It's just they have so many warrior scouts. It's just it's so hard to scout because these guys will instantly kill your own scouts. So it's a little bit difficult, but we do see the trade is starting to go here for Louis. And we can see, doing the trade trick, this will be removed in the next season of Age of Empires 4, as we've seen the pop, so this will get removed, but Louis is making use of it while it's still in the game. Going to be dropping down his toll outpost soon as well. There we do see the first one coming down, so we'll be getting as much gold as he possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great value. The more that these can make the trip across, the better. And it does look like, I mean, yes, there's a few knights out and about, but I think Louis is going to be able to defend this trade pretty well, at least to get enough value to make it worth the trip. But yeah, once we see that Age 3 come out, if this trade gets up and going, this is going to be really, really good for Louis.
Yeah, for sure. We see he's building up quite a mass here. Adding in some Donzos in here as well. Do you see? I think, oh yeah, the first trader gets taken out. So SortOf, he knows about the trade now. And we see huge amount of army rallied towards the base of Louis. Louis trying to get up some big walls here. Maybe a little bit ambitious here, but he's starting to build up quite a mass.
Yeah, Louis starting to hit this critical mass point of just getting, he's just feeling very confident. He's got some towers going up as well. The warrior scouts are playing defense on the backhand side. And now we just see this wall coming up because he knows that SortOf's going to have to do some sort of damage to him, because that's, I mean, that's the age-old proverb, right? Is if they're trading, you got to do something. You can't just let it, you just can't let it go, especially with someone like the Malians who do so well with gold. Usually, as we saw in the last game with the Rus, if you do have a certain amount of gold, you can't really do much else with it, with CAF, but with the Malians, that's all they really need. And now we see some raids coming in from SortOf here.
Huge amount of militia coming in. We see the army value right now for SortOf significantly higher than Louis. So SortOf's looking to put on some pressure here. He's going to be able to deny the traders from doing their trade route for the time being, as we see the militia going to be able to deny away the production here. Louis needs to cancel these out, otherwise he'll be losing quite a bit of wood here.
Yeah,
Traders also getting taken out here. I mean, Louis, he's up to a decent amount, but they're currently being denied away from actually trading. Louis, at the moment, still trying to build up his mass of archers here, just to try and push this one back. Seems like the militia have finally gone down, so should be able to return back to building these buildings.
But I think what SortOf's going to do is just going to try to focus down this Great Haven over here on the top end side of the map. And if he does manage to do a lot of damage to this, it'll be very good. We do see a little engagement over here. And yeah, it looks like most of the army is just staying with that trade, because as long as it can go, the better. But look at these knights just coming in onto these archers, not much they can do about it. And now if they start to peel back, SortOf's been doing a lot of good damage here. Yeah,
and behind this, it looks like he's going to be going towards a castle age. His economy looking pretty decent, up by 8 workers still. This does include the trade from Louis, so SortOf still looking in a very good position when it comes to the economy. And he's going to be aging up behind this. Is it going to be a high trade house? I mean, like, this would be a god spot, but it's a little bit exposed, I think. There it is, yeah. High trade house between these two wood lines. I think, I mean, SortOf, actually, let's take a quick look. I want to check the bounty. Yeah, still at 240, so yeah, this is going to be a rough one. So,
just so close to getting that next tier up, right? I just couldn't get it.
One more deer, one more wolf, like, I mean, do we still have boars? We still have boars on the map.
I was gonna say he should probably look to get that boar as soon as possible, just so we can get that tier 2.
Is he looking to do that now? Where's this rallied towards? It's rallied towards it down here. Might be looking to go towards it. I mean, yeah, he is actually. There we go. So,
there you go.
Yeah. So getting that extra bounty in is really, really crucial. It gives you so much more gold from the high trade house, from the hunting cabins. It increases your food production as well. So it's really, really important. You can see here the high trade house going to be bringing in 164 gold a minute. It's still, you know, worth 2 relics here, but it will be worth even more in a minute.
Exactly.
And Louis now going to be looking towards an age up himself. Has a decent number of army, and also a decent number of traders here as well. He's actually
This
got quite a
trade's been
few.
hanging out for a while. This is getting concerning.
Yeah, Ferrenberg Garrison is coming up now for him as well. Obviously, no, oh, what's the other landmark called? Coral. Something Coral. Corral. Oh, I've forgotten the name. It's the cow landmark. You know, obviously we're not going to be seeing that one.
Yes,
but,
no, we won't be seeing that one. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, with all of this gold income, it makes sense to go with Ferenber, right? So, nothing too out of the ordinary here from Louis so far. But, sort of. Going to be looking to try get some more raids off here. We see Louis done a great job here, just walling pretty much the entire map. Still a little bit of a gap here, but he's going to be able to react with his army in time and should be able to catch these off guard. Do you see that? Unfortunately, doesn't get the body block off, though.
Yeah, the Sofa is going to be providing a lot of nice frontline and also able to track down this whole army as well to prevent them from doing too much damage to this trade line. But you can see SortOf knows this is here and he wants to do something about it, but there's not much he can really do with this many Sofas.
Yeah. And now we've got all of the crucial upgrades coming in here for Louis, which includes veterancy upgrades on the archers, imported armor, and the poisoned arrows. They're going to be the really, really important ones right there.
Absolutely. We are, I mean, I will say in SortOf's credit, this is going super, super well. This much aggression has forced Louis' timings a little bit off. Even with this trade going on, I'm pretty impressed with how well SortOf has been playing this and getting into even this late game.
Yeah, exactly. Like we see, he's still ahead when it comes to the economic count. Maybe the trade's worth a little bit more. We've also got to remember we got pit mines in here as well, so... But yeah, SortOf's definitely done a good job so far, just keeping up. Unfortunately, maybe losing a couple villagers here. We see one going down, almost losing a second one there as well. To a little bit of an unfortunate wooden fortress position here. You'd preferably like it like here, right next to the ball, but it is what it is, right? But SortOf going to be going
those
for...
Sofas are so good. They're just so tanky. Right? They can just do so much. And look how little damage that thing does to them. Now the knights are coming to finally clean it up, but it took 2 full knights to take down just one sofa.
Yeah. And now Louis going to be looking to push into SortOf space. You see SortOf starting to pick up the relics, trying to claw back a little bit when it comes to that gold. So looking to pick up a second relic now. But, I mean, Louis' army here just looking so strong. He's got poisoned arrows in on the archers. Doesn't have too many blacksmith upgrades, though. SortOf definitely has the advantage when it comes to that point, as we do have +2 attack in for him.
Yeah, we have a little bit of an archer offer at the current moment, and we might see an engage. No, and now we're finally going to see a full-on battle. We have the Sofas going, clashing tides with the knights. We have the archers in both backlines shooting and trying to pick off as much as they can. The Sofas have made their way onto the archer map, which is really bad, but the knights on the other side have also made their way onto their own archer map as well, which is going super, super well at this point. I can't really tell who's exactly going to win. It looks like the Roost player is falling back, but might have more of the army, as we see with the army value down below. But it looks like LoueMT is able to push him back. Yeah,
interesting that SortOf actually pulls back there. I feel like he probably could have taken that fight. We don't have that many Donzo left in that mass. SortOf definitely could have, jumped on top of that with the knights. But I guess, just wanting to fall back a little bit, regain his mass. Should you see more knights on the way, more archers, more and more relics also being picked up, it seems. Looks like Louis. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say this is the most effective wall out of SortOf.
I would objectively say it's probably the worst case scenario for a wall I've seen in a while.
There we go.
It also finished right into a stealth forest, which means that they wouldn't even be able to see the Sofas coming around the wall. It's not like they would even alert them into vision because it's in the stealth forest.
Just such a tanky unit, this Sofa, and we don't even have +2 ranged attack in from Louis yet. That's like, if we get that in as well, we're going to be looking like a really, really strong with a +7 damage, +7 range defense.
Absolutely. We have the massive army balls looking to clash yet again. I will say it looks, just by the looks of it, looks like SortOf has the favorability, especially if this TC plays a role in this battle at all. But the Sofa's doing some nice damage down below, and it looks like we might finally have a clash.
Seems like it.
And here comes the knights rolling in.
Knight numbers looking really, really solid here for SortOf. Only 11 Donzo here for Louis. If SortOf has good micro hit and takes out all of these Donzo, SortOf should be able to get a nice wraparound on here onto the Archer mass. And we still got decent Archer numbers here from SortOf as well. Also has a few crossbows mixed in here as well, able to take down those Sofa, because despite the Sofa looking unarmored, these guys do take bonus damage from crossbows. We see more and more reinforcements coming in here from SortOf. Does have the home field advantage. So many knights out from him. It does look like Louis is now going to have to retreat back. More and more raids coming off. SortOf down to 2 villagers down here.
The only issue, though, is that this trade is just chilling.
Yeah, that's definitely a big issue for him. SortOf is still ahead when it comes to the economy, though. But, yeah, this trade is really starting to pick up now. We've got 123 per trade. Tile outposts continuing to get thrown down. So that's going to be more and more gold for him. Let's have a see how much gold. It should be like 12 gold he gets from each trip. But we see here, Louis and SortOf both going for keeps here. Louis being very aggressive with this one. 19 villagers have been pulled. Looks like Knight's going to be able to engage onto those villagers.
Those poison arrows are doing so much work right now, but the stealth force is also playing a huge role as they're able to securely hit these knights that are attacking the back line without dealing damage directly. And now they're finally lit up, illuminated like a flashlight in the night. But now they go back into the stealth force and just shooting poison darts from where you can't see. It sounds like a terrifying concept, if we're being honest.
Yeah, and this is where it gets tough for SortOf. He's constructing a wooden fortress down here, and I think it's going to be to grab the extra vision. Because in this position, it's so hard to deal with this stealth forest. It's so hard to see through it. And I'm sure we'll have Louis dropping down. Yeah, there it is. Siege Workshop. We're going to see some trebuchets, some springles. And you can't deal with the trebuchets because you can't see if springles are slightly in front. But there we go. Wooden Fortress does get dropped down. Do we see the Castle Watch upgrade being upgraded here? There it is. So he's going to be able to get some nice vision here. Should extend to around about here. But
which is huge, because if he can't see, as you mentioned, not only the siege, but if the mangonels come in and they get a nice shot onto that archer mass, it could be really, really rough for SortOf.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what's so nice about the Rus here. They have access to the Castle Watch upgrade. To be honest, I feel like every civilization should have this upgrade available in the outpost, because if any other civilization, you've lost this position because it's impossible to deal with a stealth forest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree. I love that you're advocating for every civilization to get everything that everyone else has. I think it's I think it's wonderful. But yeah, no, I think that the vision has played such a huge role in these past couple games. So it's super, super important when you can utilize those traits, as we saw with like the Imperial Palace with the Chinese. The vision just plays such a massive role in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And we see here SortOf going to be able to pick off some trade. He's still ahead when it comes to the economy. He's honestly done a great job this game. We see he's up to 3 relics. So, you know, he's not looking too bad, you know. He's not looking too bad. But the real question is, can he start to slow down this trade at all? So we see he's going for a little bit of a chop through here. This could be huge for him. Does Louis know about this, though? I think he does. Okay, yeah, he definitely knows. He definitely knows. He's going to be trying to go for a keep drop, but... yeah, I mean, we don't even have textiles through.
I mean, Louis might be able to see it physically, but I don't know if Louis himself saw that.
I think he did.
Oh, now he did.
Yeah.
Now he did. Yeah, they popped through and that was all over. There goes a keep right up top.
Yeah, maybe if SortOf brought his army with him, because he needs to try and stop this trade. If he stops this trade with a keep here, I feel like that's pretty much game over for Louis. But
yeah, Louis staying in this because of that beautiful trait line in the back. As you can just see the ant line, conga line in the back end side, just beautifully moving back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we have the trebuchets, as you mentioned, into the stealth force. We also have trebuchet on SortOf side taking down this.
And that's the importance of that vision right there. If there was no vision here, you wouldn't be able to take down the keep.
I'll say it's a very forward temple as well, though, so those monasteries could be taken out pretty quickly in the sense. But here comes Springholes coming up and not able to it's not a full 2-shot, cannot do it. Survivors are just a scotch of health.
We see Louis managed to stabilize in the base. Those villagers for SortOf didn't really achieve too much. I think they've retreated back over to the stone over here. But neither player are looking towards an Imperial Age quite yet. SortOf, it looks like he's stacking up the food while Louis stacking up the gold, but yeah, neither player actually looking towards that. Yeah, I feel like SortOf could look towards it because he needs the extra range on the Springles to try and deal with this. That's pretty much the that's the option that he's got going for him at the moment, I think, because yeah, you can't get that close here with the Springles.
Yeah, these Springles are providing good value. They're trying their best to take these down, but they can only get so close, and the stealth force is allowing Louis to position these archers in front of the keep, which makes it so they can actually get a few pot shots on the Springles if they do pop up, as you can see, moving the army back and forth. Springles are able to get one shot in, which is nice, though, and protecting that front line.
I think we're going to be seeing the age up coming through from SortOf very, very shortly. I'd assume, yeah, there it is. Lumber camp going to get destroyed. But for no reason, apparently. Okay, there we go. Siege workshops and the high armory going to be coming down. And Louis going to be aging up as well at the same time with the fort of the Huntress. Where is it in the base? I don't see it. Am I blind? I think I might be blind. Where is it? I don't.
Space?
I'm looking for the fort of the Huntress from Louis, but oh, here it is. Here it is.
There it is. Up front.
Right, it's hiding in the wood line on the minimap. That's why. But there it is. Very defensive position with it. I'm surprised he didn't go for like a forward-ish position, but
I can understand. It's just one of those things. You drop that forward landmark. It can be so influential, but at the same time, if it gets sniped first and foremost, then essentially you're down a landmark off the rip. Even if you're ahead, if Travis are able to take it out too easily, then it can also just deter them in the other manner. So it's one of those things. The same thing happens a lot with like the English. If they drop that Birch or Palace or White Tower up front, if you manage to take it down, it's such a big swing for the opponent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Louis just going to be going for the defensive landmark here instead. But Louis still looking in a really, really good position here. We see Tall Outpost going to be providing him a lot of gold here. Oh, has he only got 2? No, he's got more. He's got more. Yeah, so he's getting all 5 in there. So looking very happy when it comes to the gold income. We see his mass looking really strong here. Elite Archer is in. Got some of the upgrades coming in precision training as well as Elite Donzo. Now, who do you favor here in the late game? Rus or Marlians?
I mean, normally I would favor Rus, but because the Marlians have this trade...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's a little bit of both, right? Because the trades counter out how the Marlians get outscaled a little bit. But with this siege supremacy and this much gold, it could be tough for SortOf to fully crack through. But I will also say, too, SortOf has shown how good he is in this late game. So it could really go either way at this point, honestly. Not to sound indecisive.
Louis going to find it a little bit hard here with the siege, though, as high armory is up. We don't have the banded arms in yet for SortOf. He does have the roller shutter trigger, so he's going to have the range upgrade, but he's going to have the same range as the Marlian ones. So banded arms is a crucial upgrade for the Rus here if he wants to win Springald Wars, which at the moment they're taking equal fights.
Yeah, and these 2 Springals have been really a nice MVP, honestly, for SortOf. Really just going back, getting healed up, taking a few pot shots, going back. It looks like we have more in production for SortOf, so we're going to see the one-shot incapability very soon.
Mangonel.
Looks like Louis wants a little bit of something.
I feel like we just need like a couple more Mangonels out of SortOf here, just to try and shut down this archer mass.
Yeah, like they absolutely rip through. Even those knights getting one shot by that, they've hit a critical mass point. 63 is that point where whatever walks in front of them, they're taking it down. It does look like the Springholes decided to get a little bit too advantageous and go into that stealth force. And as we mentioned, the stealth force is playing a huge role because they can't see everything. And the Springholes moved up a little bit closer.
Yeah, and now we've got Culverins coming out from Louis here. It's going to be... this is really where Banded Arms comes in clutch, because you're going to be able to outrange the Culverin by even more with this upgrade, and that's really what you need up against these guys.
We have an engage going on. We see the archers on the right-hand side taking pot shots at this army. They're trying to take down, these knights are trying to take down these mangonels, but they're heading right into the archer mats, which is not good. And the culverin does go down, but not the mangonel.
I mean, that's the most important one, right? The culverin's so expensive. That's 1,000 resources right there gone for Louis. So really, really nice pick up there by SortOf. Like, throwing away that cavalry for that was worth it.
Agreed. There's a request to look at the trade to see how much he's getting per trade.
Oh, look at this. Oh, we got archers in here. SortOf taking out the trade.
Oh my goodness, how did he get in here?
Yeah, how did he get in here? Oh, I might have found it.
The old chop through gets an army through, which is devastating. That's a huge pickup for SortOf. I think this was keeping Louis in the game. And they're just sitting here in the trade line, peppering all these merchants.
Louis down to 12 active traders, 10. Oh, he's just losing all of them. He's losing every single one of them right now. And at the same time, SortOf, he's doing fine in the base here. You know, Louis hasn't able to put much pressure on the front line here. And SortOf just cleaned up everything.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of crossbowmen sitting in the stealth fort, which is absolutely terrifying.
Louis down to
moving
5
out,
traders. Oh, this is rough.
Down to 4. It's going to be down to 0 soon.
It is?
The last 4.
Oh, that's rough. That is rough. At this point in time, I felt like SortOf's definitely taking the lead now. I mean, we take a look at his army value. It's way up. And he's about to kill a load of villagers over here. Louis going to be just losing out on so much economy right now. And he's only on the one town center as well. It's not like he's going to be able to, you know, get all of these villagers back very quick at all.
Right. It's not able to easily replace. And it looks like these horsemen are just looking to throw away their lives a little bit. Nope, they're going to turn around. They're like, yeah, actually, we can't take out a keep on our own. But doing some even more damage in the base. And we've seen this from SortOf time and time again, honestly. So good at these raids and just doing more things on the other side of the map while also protecting himself.
It seems like SortOf's kept some villagers over here for maybe a little chop through on the north side this time. But it looks like Louis will be able to clean that one up.
We have air horns going off left and right, but no actual battles yet.
Yeah. just
false alarms.
You know, an archer, some like lumber camp under attack. This is an actual attack over here, to be fair. Little horseman raid.
Getting some nice value again, as you mentioned, only on the 1 TC, so all these are very, very good value. SortOf has killed 51 villagers at this point, which is super, super nice for him. Especially when it's in the Malians, is only the 1 TC, because we're at 115 to 80 at the current moment.
It looks like SortOf's actually stopped villager production himself, and now it's going to be pulling villagers. What is going on? Why are food villagers being pulled here? Where's he going with this? Yeah, but I guess so. We're going to have to see where he looks to place it. But SortOf looking to now...
he is sitting on 5,000 food, which is probably why.
That is true. That is true. Also going to be going into biology, so probably looking to go into mass horsemen now, which definitely makes sense. He's going to get dropped down here as well.
Now Louis in the back end foot recruiting into his base.
And this is where the Fort of the Huntress is going to come in a little bit helpful. No? But Springles, it was get some. I thought they were going towards the Springles there for a second.
Springles are just sending lasers out from the stealth force. That'd be terrible. Imagine though, if you're in the other army and all of a sudden, out of literally the mist comes a giant arrow the size of a car out of the way and just hits you in the face. It's gotta be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah. And now we see Louis going to be under the same sort of threat he was under, or he was putting on earlier with the stealth forest. We see here, Louis just has no vision. He's not going to be able to take out these trebuchets. The trebuchets should just be able to come up to here and take out the Fort of the Huntress. And Louis can't do anything about it. He has no special upgrade in the tower to deal with this. It's going to be really tricky for him. So instead, he's just going to have to dive under here with some culverin, with some siege. But it's so difficult, right? Because they're going to get instantly picked off like that with the Springles. And then a keep is going to be here as well with some cannon emplacements.
Yeah, and the mangonels are rolling in for SortOf, which are going to be brutal if they walk in his archer mess.
Oh god, SortOf losing out on like 5 springles right there. That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, that is not ideal. But those mangonels they did miss again. I will say the mangonel operators need nothing on. Look at that.
Missing every shot.
We need to get fired. We need to get some new ones in. That's brutal.
It's SortOf's looking in a really, really good spot now. He has stopped villager production for a long, long time. So not going up to like the 130 number that we see most players go up to. I mean, he's not that far away, but he's stopping a little bit early, I guess. We also see lots of siege still coming out here for SortOf. Trying to slowly make his way over to the Fort of the Huntress. Louis trying to get down a little tall outpost, so he's going to be able to reclaim some of that vision.
Mangonels are going to be able to put a stop to whatever aggression that Louis wants. Until he takes those out, he can't move forward. Oh,
huge
just
shots.
A ball of archers. He can't move forward to this at all. Every time he decides to move forward, these horsemen are going to move up and in.
So much value right there taken out. Bombard going down. Culverin taken out. Springle taken out. And SortOf still has 2 mangonels behind this as well. Trebuchet's going to be starting to take down that. In fact, I think they're shooting at the unit. So need to be focusing down the Fort of the Huntress. But the mangonels on the backline here getting some great value.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just taking pot shots for free. And they have to keep readjusting, which makes them have to move back. And the Streltsy, I will say, Streltsy got a little bit advantageous getting in range of that Fort of the Huntress. We're going to be 100% honest.
Yeah. I mean, the Streltsy just melt under this.
Yeah. And we have 2 Culverins hopefully moving back soon. I was going to say, I was like, oh my goodness, don't lose those at all.
I think SortOf thinks he's playing the English here with the what's it called, Shattered Projectiles upgrade, trying to snipe out the siege here with his trebuchets.
He's getting a little advantage. These trebuchets, I mean, I would surprise they're not in place just to deal with this Fort of the Huntress.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I mean, if you don't want to take this out, I feel like there's plenty of other ways you can go, like down to this south side maybe. But Louis, looking pretty strong here, pushing forward.
And they're just getting absolutely clattered by all the siege in the back side. This stealth force is hiding so many units. There's so much back here with a fort, with 2 fortresses.
This is what Louis sees right now, coming towards him.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Looks like SortOf is keeping up the pressure here with the raids coming through from the horsemen. Like, they're everywhere right now. Look at this. And Donzo versus horsemen. Looks like Louis will be able to hold that one. But looks like he's pushing in now. Now this is where Rams come in absolute clutch. We see 9 Rams here for SortOf. Some of them on the south, some of them in the north, some of them in the center. I feel like this is really what SortOf excels at, right? It's just pressure everywhere on the map at the same time. It's like we got pressure south and north and in the center, and Louis just really, really struggling now.
Yeah, ever since he took out that trade route, this has been going sort of. This is exactly the game that SortOf wants to play, right? He wants to get in this late game, as you mentioned, just death by 1,000 cuts, constantly going after. He's been setting this trade line forever with all these units. He's sending rams left and right, and every time these villagers glance up to save them from the rams, we have. And we have Springholes taking down the bombards. We have the horses diving in to get so much value. They're getting another Springholes over here as well. And now these mangonels are just dishing out so much damage as well. The siege superiority is really paying off for SortOf.
Fort of the Huntress goes down as well. That's going to be, that landmark going down is huge for SortOf. It means it's going to be able to push the siege in underneath this position. More and more units coming in on the north as well, as that keep does go down. Siege looking to get completely cleaned up here. I mean, Louis has somewhat well, I wouldn't say 6 traders is exactly, you know, bringing back trade, but it's something.
Well, they have to make it all the way across. It looks like there's plenty of units in the back there for SortOf, just causing so much havoc. So
more villagers going down as well.
they might not be making it all the way home.
And with that, GG gets called. Louis going to be tapping out in game number 1 here. SortOf going to be taking the first game in this best of 3.
Incredibly impressed by SortOf's play here. His late game is just proving to be unbelievable. It's truly taking it to the next level, and super impressed. I would not be shocked if we see another late game Civ picked for SortOf. I think like the Rus, Chinese, and Abbasid seem to be a sweet spot.
I mean, score relatively even pretty much the whole game. Economic count, we can see there Louis when he was in a great position. And then we just see here where he really started to fall off a little bit. And then military count, yeah. But we're going to be jumping into game number 2 now between LoueMT and SortOf. Louis going to be spawning in on the south here, playing as the French today. A civilization that he does play quite a bit of, so be feeling pretty happy about this pick, I'm sure. We're on the map regions.
And in the top hand side, we have SortOf as the Chinese wearing the red in today's game on the top hand side of the map. The current series SortOf is up 1-0. So LoueMT looking to get back into this series and SortOf looking to close it out to climb that ladder.
Indeed, and SortOf going to be opening up here with the standard build order. Seems like the villager was struggling a little bit there to get onto the sheep. But SortOf going to be dropping down his village now. Louis, he's going to be going for no early wheelbarrow, it seems. Maybe looking to grab that in transition.
Yeah, pretty standard so far from both players. So no immediate cheese that we can see, which we'd expect. But then again, today's anything is possible these days. The IO doing IO things, just getting those taxes as much as they possibly can. Which is, I mean, it's just a wonderful thing for the Chinese player. It's awful for everyone else. And as a new player, the biggest thing if you want to improve on your Chinese is getting that IO down and making sure you utilize it as much as possible. It's one of the strengths of the Chinese. So the better you can utilize that unit, the better your Chinese can actually get.
Apparently, the Imperial official is actually a dude. Because this used to be a big thing at the beginning at launch. Everyone called it a she, but then if you actually zoom up on the profile picture, you see he's got like a little goatee. So
there you go.
Yeah,
He's doing his best work up there. Just trying to get as many taxes from the workers as possible. So pretty standard for most tax officials, I would assume.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing really out of the ordinary yet. Both players on 1 scout. Sometimes we do see 2 scouts out of the French. But Louis deciding to just go with the 1 today. Now going to be going up with a school of cavalry. 5 villagers on the landmark there. So really wanting to get up the age up fast. Not even deciding to go for wheelbarrow here. So he wants to get this up fast. Get out the first night. Start to put on some pressure onto SortOf here. SortOf, on the other hand, he's going to be a little while away from aging up. Still lacking a little bit when it comes to the gold.
The good news for SortOf, he did get plenty of sheep, so he shouldn't be having the same issues as running out of safe food too quickly, which is nice, especially when you know that there's about a night coming your way in about 1.5 minutes, and it should be your base in about 2 minutes. I would say for most people, even a quick school of cavalry, you can expect to see knights at your base anywhere from like that 4:30 to 5 minute mark. If you don't see them at that point, I wouldn't get concerned, but just know they're at least coming, or they're being masked somewhere that you're not seeing, or I mean they're going a meme build and they're just going for trade. But regardless, that's the timeline that you should be looking at, especially in your solo queue games, for that timeline to see pop up in that, like I said, in that 4:30 to 5 minute mark.
This is really rough for Louis right here. We see his scout currently has no sheep on him, and in the base, he's got barely any sheep under here. Yeah, that could be pretty bad for him. He's going to have to maybe look to move out onto the deer quite early here, which obviously the French are fine with doing, but, you know, if you... more sheep, the better, right?
It's so true. I mean, we talked about this. I can't believe that I've spent this much time talking about sheep, but this matchup, it is actually pretty critical. And it looked like SortOf got the advantage in this time around. So yeah, it looks like the French player is going to have to move out to these deer packs a little bit earlier than they normally would like to. That being said, the good news for Louis is that they don't have to deal with usually knights, but we've seen that SortOf is very, very good at these raids, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if that plays a role later on in the game.
SortOf at the moment has a really, really nice Barbican position here. Secures up 2 golds, stone, and sort of like protects this wood line here as well as the berries. So I would give this a 10 out of 10 Barbican right here. Imperial Academy also going to be coming up, so going into the Song Dynasty nice and early here. As the first knight for Louis is currently hiding.
That is a very solid Barbican for sure. You'd hate to see that, and like I said, this matchup is a little bit spawn. It's not dependent because these maps that EGC put together are very, very good at hitting that middle ground of making it pretty even. But it does make it so that there's sometimes it's just more of a preferred spawn spot when you have a Barbican that can be placed like that. Not always can a Barbican protect 3 resources that comfortably and also help out your tree line. So super nice, and I'm sure SortOf is very happy.
Yeah, SortOf's going to be feeling very happy about this. I mean, up against the French as well, it's probably the best civilization that you're up against to have this sort of spawn. And we see this little wall here. It's going to be pretty much impossible for Louis to get off decent rates here. It's really, really difficult for him.
I have seen this story before, honestly. Louis not getting the Chinese not getting raided on because of some walls. And then I will say the last time we saw a wall go up yesterday, someone got charged through the wall, which is kind of funny. The village went flying into existence. It's a small bug, but it was honestly quite comical. Didn't have any impact on the actual game. But yeah, the only thing they can really touch is this forward stone. But with these, the Barbican, as you can see, throwing seeds from afar, and then these spearmen are just able to just hold position nicely in here.
Yeah, it looks like is the Imperial. I think the Imperial official is supervising. It looks like the stone. I think that's the stone, not the barracks. But we got plenty of spears coming out from SortOf now just to defend this stone position. Louis going to be going for a second TC himself. Going to be moving out now. I assume it's going to be on the steer pack. He does have enough resources. There it is. First TC going to be coming down for him. SortOf should be having his TC coming up relatively soon as well. See here, Knights going to be looking to try and take out a villager. One does go down, but some decent damage onto the Knights here. Chivalry coming through for Louis, though.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't lose these two, you can always just pull them back and come back another day. So, I mean, this is, as you can see, in the pro level, we can see the split. Oh no.
Yeah, that one's rough.
Yeah, that's always really rough for Louis. But as you can see in the pro level play, it's quite insane micro that Louis is able to batch between the two, go around the stone at both sides, and then attack from either side. Also excellent micro there by SortOf with the spears to be able to do the same thing with his spearmen. But if you are in the lower leagues and you're having trouble with that, just put them on hold position in there. No one's going to be doing what you just saw with LoueMT up there and splitting their knights around the thing as both easily that way. So hold position in that resource line and make it so that you can live another day as a player that's not playing the French.
Exactly. But Louis is going to be, SortOf's going to be dropping down his second town center now. Right next to his other town center, so playing very condensed here. It makes sense up against the French, but, you got very limited resources here. Luckily for him, though, does have plenty of sheep, so his food should be alright here, and he's had it supervised up the whole time as well. So you just got to, times all of these sheep by 20. That's how much food he's got, so, SortOf's definitely alright when it comes to the food. Well, at least for the time being. But we see here Louis, on the other hand, he's looking to grab all of the resources on the map. I wouldn't be surprised to see some villagers moving out for the boar soon as well. Maybe even, some of this deer up here. Could always be a call.
Yeah, no, SortOf's feeling in a really good spot right now. These knights do find some good value, though. They're going to get at least 2 villagers before these spears come to help defend. But these spears did make it just in time If there was 2 knights there, that would have been way worse, but Louis obviously lost one earlier. So it did come back to kind of bite him in that interaction right there. But now the knights are back in tow, and that tower being up, this should be okay for now. But with these spearmen, they're going to have to stay and babysit this village for a while.
Oh, Louis actually managed to pick off a villager there with the 1 archer.
One little pea shooter.
Yeah. So Louis is actually in a pretty decent spot right now. He's up by 4 villagers. Also has access to a lot more of the high income resources at the moment as well. And his army value is significantly higher than SortOf's. But obviously,
Yeah.
SortOf, he's still in a he's not in a dire position right now, right? It's still very early days, but
Oh, absolutely. And as we talked about in the last matchup of this one, those French knights count so much towards that army value. So as long as the only issue with them, though, is that they get countered so easily by just a simple spear unit. So without a massive archers behind them, the Chinese player will feel very, very safe.
exactly. Blacksmith going to get dropped down now for SortOf. Looks like we've got a little bit of idle time over here for SortOf. He wants to bring these over to the berries. Or going to be moving them over to the deer. How have you got in there? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted right now because there's stuff going on, but how did you get in there? Are you seeing this?
Yeah, just hanging out, just having a good time, honestly.
Is there a gap there? I feel like you shouldn't be able to get through there. But anyway, we got the Royal Institute coming through now for Louis. So looking to just mass up those knights. Unfortunately, he's lost a couple this game. So if he kept those alive with the chivalry, he would have some. He would have a little bit of a better force. And going to be looking to go into Royal Bloodlines, I'd expect. We see floating a lot of gold right now.
Yeah, every time you lose one knight, it feels so rough as the French player, because as you mentioned, it's so important to carry them over into not just Castle Age, but when you get chivalry, so they can actually come back and be useful again. So that upgrade gets so much less value if you lose 1 or 2 in the early game.
Exactly. We see SortOf managing to slowly climb his way back up to his villager count. Only 2 villagers behind Louis now, but Louis, he's up to the next stage. SortOf looks like he's wanting to follow him, but it's gonna be a little while. SortOf pops inside of the outpost. And a little bit of damage goes onto one of the villagers there.
Louis is now Castle Age, though, so we should be seeing a lot of upgrades for these knights, and then also we should be seeing a lot more archers coming out of Louis, because he needs to defend against all these spearmen.
Yeah, exactly. Blacksmith finally coming down for Louis. Surprised we haven't seen this before, to be honest, because of the, the bloomery. We see bloomery coming in, it's free. So usually we do see the blacksmith coming up in age 2, but, it's better late than never. And Louis now has his upgrades through for the Royal Knight. No Royal Bloodlines quite yet, though, but I'm sure that's on Louis' mind as he's floating a lot of gold right now. So, see, that doesn't cost too much. We're kind of surprised we don't see that coming in. Maybe struggling a little bit on the food front, as we did see earlier on. He didn't have too many sheep. He's exhausted the deer now, so having to move out onto the boar. And there we do see Royal Bloodlines now going to be coming in. And we're just continuing the pressure here on the villagers of SortOf.
Yeah, and you can see right now too is that the walls are starting to come out by SortOf, and that is not an engage that you want. I don't think there's enough spearmen in there to do a lot of damage, but Louis with a great micro to get all these low. So good. Is he not going to lose one?
This one might be going down. Oh, he saves the scout even. He saves everything. He saves everything. Everything is on like 20 HP. That is huge.
Yeah, he cleans out. He loses, I think, a scout his troubles, or maybe one knight, but clears out SortOf's army and doesn't lose any of those knights. That is so huge. It's like 1,000 to 1,500 resources right there being saved by just Unreal Micro.
Yeah, that was insane micro by there from Louis. Louis also going to look to pick up some relics now, SortOf. Still looking to get down these walls, struggling a little bit. He's SortOf just struggling a little bit when it comes to food. He's now going to be going into a farm transition with some granaries here. This could be a perfect opportunity for Louis to put on some good damage, because we see he's still got some decent map control. He's out on the berries, he's out on the boar. He's just looking to pump out the units. Also stacking up some stone for a keep to give the discount, so we can get, you know, discounted archers, discounted knights.
Yeah, now with his military advantage, Louis gonna be able to take out this full... Oh no, the nest of bees are here now, so we're gonna...
And they can just sit behind the wall, right?
To hide behind, exactly. So these deer packs are gonna be safe for now due to the nest of bees.
Not a whole lot of deer left here, though, to be honest. A couple, relatively low on food, but yeah, sort of at the moment looking all right. But Louis really is gonna amp up the pressure here with the keep coming down. More stables drop down. We're gonna get the nice little discount here for the French on everything that he makes here. And this is where things could go south for SortOf, as he's having to make his farm transition now. He's looking to make use of the berries, but this is going to get denied. I don't think it will. I think the repairs will be able to save this.
That's insane.
He's trying to get the charge. He's trying to do the bug.
Yep, he is trying to get through it. I mean, I don't blame him. That's insane. One dude with one hammer can stop 11 knights from breaking through a wall.
I'm not exactly sure how a hammer saves a load of torches being thrown at a wall, but you know, that's Age of Empires 4 logic for you. That
they are torches, but I always call them Molotovs. I find it more amusing, but I would agree that they're probably torches. The forward wall going up for the Chinese player because they've completely through, but not the quick wall did not go through. So now these knights are through. And we get a lot of damage on these villagers.
But they're just going to get cornered here.
Yeah, but they're trying to trade onto this nest of bees. But there's a lot of spearmen in mix of this, and they can't really get this nest of bees. Actually, they don't actually get this nest of bees. This is a horrible trade for Louis.
They managed to take out
all of his knights.
They took out one nest of bee, but the amount of knights that went down there, and you got to remember, they're royal bloodline upgraded knights. You do not want to be losing them like that. An awful trade for Louis. We see army value now for SortOf significantly ahead.
And it looks like SortOf was able to get that half wall up to that last completion, which made it so the knight's pathing got all wonky. And that palisade wall popping up and making so they got stuck on those trees. And that is super unfortunate for Louis. All that really nice micro earlier on was just all washed away. He did get a decent amount of vills, 14 vills. He did decently. But at this point, though, this is China we're talking about. So you need to do a lot more damage than vills. And also losing that many knights, it's very hard to bring them back and get them back. And honestly, for this point, we'll do fair trades. But more coming in, only getting one villager that time.
Yeah, and losing an STB there was pretty rough. I mean, maybe if you're SortOf, you think about another TC, but Louis at the moment, have a look at this. He's looking just to make use of all of the map control he currently has, taking all of the deer here. He has survival techniques through, so going to be able to gather these ones up really, really nicely. Also going to be looking to pick up all the relics. Louis at the moment, his economy got to be feeling pretty strong. Like, SortOf at the moment, he's doing his farm transition, but Louis just making use of the whole map, taking the relics, taking even the sacred sites now. Louis looking in a great spot.
Walling it in too, just to make it even more secure.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not going for a sacred victory, which I doubt Louis is doing here, you're having to force quite a reaction out of SortOf, right? Because, you know, one men-at-arm over here or whatever isn't going to be enough to deal with this wall. You're going to need to bring, like, you know, a force like this, maybe. And if that force isn't at the base, then, you know, Louis can then look to pressure with the army in the base. It's just things like that are really, really smart here for Louis. It's causing as much stress as he possibly can onto SortOf.
Yeah, and there it goes. There's the clock ticking down from 10. I agree with you. It's probably not going to actually tick down, but making SortOf move out of his base, which is where those nested bees are super safe. And then on top of that, that passive gold is always a nice touch.
Yeah, exactly. It's 200 gold a minute for Louis there, just for free. You know, he's not losing anything by capturing these. Well, he may be losing the monk due to the wolf, but apart from that.
Not losing anything, loses the thing that's valuable.
Yeah. I mean, there's still
yeah.
a relic over here as well that's that could be up for grabs. He doesn't actually know about it. Have a look at that.
That is super unfortunate. And here comes the one villager with the one hammer. We're good to go.
Oh, it looks like Louis is going to be able to reach it, though. It's so stupid. Like, how can you possibly reach through a wall?
It is. I agree it's stupid, but I also hate the Chinese repair ability so much that I'm also in for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Any other civilization, I'd be very salty. But for them, I'm like, it's fair. It's fair.
Sort of. Just going to be re-walling that one. No, he's starting to build up some decent siege here. He's up to 3 Springalds. Some more archery rangers going to get dropped down here around the keep for that discount. See constant production of archers coming through, as well as still more knights. Looks like Louis isn't looking to add in any sort of arbitrary for the time being. Could be a unit he looks to go into, as we do see a couple Palace Guard are being added in now, so could always be something he looks towards.
Yeah, Louis doing a great job at really just making all, like, attacking it every which way, really doing what SortOf did to him last game, which is just pull him in about 1,000 different directions.
I don't think Louis is going to be able to find much here as the army for SortOf does arrive. Looks like Louis, yeah, there we go, going to be falling back. Doesn't lose anything out there, though, so it'll be all right for him. Sacred Site victory is still approaching. Maybe if we see a keep coming down over here, and then maybe like a stone wall.
It's not like the actual win condition, but once it gets under that 5-minute mark, Louis is going to start to think about, like, okay, if I just go for this now, I can actually go for it realistically. Yeah. But utilizing this Sacred Site threat to also take down this forward-facing keep for SortOf, and that way the knights can kind of rush in whenever they need to.
Yeah, exactly. All the siege will be under a lot of pressure. We don't have boiling oil through yet, though, for SortOf, so I mean, he could probably dive this with his knights at the moment. But only the 2 trebuchets, so this keep will not be going down. As, you know, Chinese villagers doing what Chinese villagers do best. Huge numbers of knights.
Preparing for fun. It is what it is.
Yeah, this is what they do in their spare time. That's why they're so good at repairing.
Yeah, they're just crazy jacked too. They're just yoked. They just that one hammer and they can repair anything, any trouble. Just go to a Chinese villager and they'll take care of it, no problem.
Looks like the knights still trying to just be a little bit of a pain. Louis up to a really high number of knights. 26 is quite a significant amount. And SortOf, you can see here, it's just constantly under pressure, going left and right, left and right. You see here, the Springalds going to be able to trade up against Clock Tower Springalds. Looks like Louis will be able to take the better exchange here. Pretty even. It looks like SortOf is actually going to be able to take the better fight there with the Springald placement coming through on the keep.
Really nice micro there by both players. We just got the knights kind of roaming around. We have more walls going in. I will say this Sacred Site victory is getting more and more real. We have the red palace going down where? Where is that thing going down?
Right here.
Right there. Right up front. Right front and center from this base camp that Louis built. It looks like SortOf is finally sending something up to that top right-hand corner to desync the Sacred Sites. But yeah, we're already at 5 minutes for the Sacred Site victory, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I honestly think it could be a win condition here for Louis. Like, just you got Vills over here, right? You got some stone in the bank. Stick down a stone wall here and here. Okay, yeah. SortOf's actually going to be able to take this one out, but I feel like it could be reacted to pretty quickly, as we do see some archers moving over there. I don't think 3 archers is going to be enough, though, as we do have a singular palace guard there.
Yeah, doing some chats that all the people have gone red palace so far, and yeah, it's very, very powerful. It can really fortify a position and just reinforce anything that you really need going forward. You know, we have the debatably even better.
There it is.
Landmark going forward and down.
I've been speaking to some players about this landmark, and most players just say, like, if this landmark goes up, just avoid it. You know, there's no point in fighting under it. You just go around it. You know, find a different position. It's just impossible to get through. But if you can take it out before it goes up, then that's a different story. As we see this landmark going down to some very low HP right there. Villagers getting picked off here. Landmark down to 900 health. It looks like Louis is now going to be falling back though, as the spring will sort of do make their approach, and it looks like the landmark will be going up. And this could shut down a lot of Louis' positioning here.
I think will be under the red keep, be able to shoot away at this Great Wall Gatehouse. So I will say,
so much damage.
I'm liking the position of Louis here a little bit better because his is already up, of course, and now it's burning. So these villagers are going to be working overtime, and a lot of resources are going to be going to keep this thing up.
Yeah, right. And sort of at the moment doesn't have a lot of wood in the bank. We might see insufficient wood coming through.
Top. The villagers are up
oh,
top,
huge raid coming through.
Oh wow! Louis
and we've still got
a bit of revenge.
Oh, what is going on here? The sacred site, sort of. The sacred site. And the landmark goes down as well. Louis in such a good position. Huge raid has come off. And we see there the units get taken out by the archers. Louis, he's going to take the sacred win. We see a stone wall coming up over here. And a villager looks to get pulled to repair up this wall as well.
He's going to stick... Oh, I like that he's going to stick 8 archers behind that wall. So no matter what comes up, he can eventually take it out. And I will say, the Great Wall Gatehouse, while amazing, that was an ambitious position because he already had trebuchets underneath the red keep.
Yeah, that's true. It was very ambitious, and he lost so much health on it while it was being constructed. Like, the ×3 multiplier for buildings being constructed is so huge. So only the 2 trebuchets here from Louis was enough to take it out. And now sort of...
so true. And also they went up on top actually, and they went finished instead of preparing it.
Yeah. So sort of not looking in a good spot right now. We see sending some more palace guard, but we've got a keep drop on the way over here. And archers are here ready to defend this position. Sort of's gonna have to send way more than this. We see just rallies of men-at-arms on the way. But once this keeps up, we're gonna see sprung emplacement, cannon emplacement, maybe even coming through. And we just see there, they just get taken out so quickly.
Yeah, with the help of the keep and these archers, it's going to be totally okay. And even SortOf's even losing. LoueMT's even winning the front battle as well. So not only is he winning the sides, but even up front, he's doing tons and tons of damage.
He's got a third of his economy at the front line here, trying to get up this, trying to get up the Great Wall Gatehouse. That's not going to be going up though. Just the army mass here for Louis is so huge. We don't even have elite upgrades in for the spearmen or the palace guard. And again, this is a problem for SortOf here. Just barely any gold. There's no gold income whatsoever. And with that, GG gets called.
Wow. We see a late game China lose to French. I mean, that's why this matchup is so skill dependent. We saw Louis do very, very well with the micro early on. And then setting up that red keep, that red palace right up front in a very good position. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the game, you foreshadowed, MrMerlin, with that middle of the map is so important on this map in particular. And with the map control he used from the Knights, he was able to really get fully in control.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, Louis had map control the whole time. And then at the end there, SortOf, he didn't have any gold. He was also down in economy. He was down in quite a few ways, but he was struggling on the gold. He didn't have any relics. He didn't have any sacred sites. And Louis played that one perfectly, just taking the center of the map, playing it to the late stage of the game, and then just winning. Welcome to game number 3 here between LoueMT and SortOf. Louis is going to be spawning up here in the north side of the map, playing as the English today. And he's just going to be opening up here with just the one scout. Pretty standard stuff. Hasn't actually moved out at all yet. But we're on the map Lipany. And his opponent SortOf spawns here in the south.
Yeah, as the HRE, sending out all those prayers and getting those workers going at a 40% clip, which is just unreal, which is why you do not want to leave the HRE fully alone, especially in that early game. Try to get as much damage as you possibly can to them. The HRE, though, are susceptible to a few raids because they have to usually move out for food pretty quickly. The one thing about that prelate is while they do get excellent food production, and rate of gathering. They usually have to move out pretty quick to outside food sources unless they get a lot of sheep, which that's a normal amount of sheep, honestly, for Lipany. But they might move out, so that is when you can usually strike them. Or if their gold is a little bit farther away. This gold is in a pretty good spot. It's in the backside and side of the map. Pretty easily to defend that for sort of, but if it was on the front facing, like those berries are, that's where you can get the most damage done to them.
Yeah, exactly. If there's only a civilization to be able to put some super early pressure onto the Holy Roman Empire, English definitely has to be one of them. French is also another one, but I would say the English are probably at a better spot in the game at the moment. And I think it'll play towards Louis' playstyle here as well, with some good old feudal age pressure.
Absolutely. And we got, I mean, pretty standard openings. Nothing too crazy coming out for either player. And we'll see probably the Council Hall and then the Aachen Chapel dropping down. I have seen a few pros choose the Abbey of Kings as one that goes into, especially if they're going knights in, and they think the other player, like the HRE, is going to go knights. But I think we're going to see the standard Council Hall coming out, and there it goes. It's a bit forwards, and I was gonna say it is a bit forward, but it's okay. But I think Louis also agreed with me that he wanted to drop it back into range, just in case one of those early. Anything comes out too early, and there's the Aachen Chapel.
Pretty good Aachen Chapel here. In fact, really good Aachen Chapel. If you're looking to go for a second CC, you got the stone, you got your second wood line. Actually, is that? Yeah, that's your second wood line there as well, which you can just make your primary one for now. You've also got the berries in there, and you've also got your TC with the sheep. So decent Aachen Chapel here. We're gonna have to see if SortOf does look to go for a second TC though. He may be looking to just go for a fast castle, in which case the stone probably would have wanted this to be the gold, but he's still always there when you eventually want to mine some stone, so not a bad Aachen Chapel.
I totally agree. Definitely not a bad Aachen Chapel. I will say there is an avenue for Louis to get some harass off in this wood line. It's a little bit farther off the side of the TC, so not going to provide protection. And then if he can skirt around the back side of the wood line, he can get in to get some pot shots on those villagers that are going for the stone. So it's a good Aachen Chapel, but it's also very punishable by Louis.
I think he's going to be going for a second TC though. Usually when we see players rush the Aachen Chapel up like that, he usually does go up for a second TC. And by the amount of vills, okay, maybe not. He's got a lot of vills on wood here though, but going to be dropping down a stable here, rushing that one up. SortOf does love to rush up these buildings. And he's going to start to make some horsemen immediately. Louis about to reach the feudal age. He's going to be going for a second TC.
Yeah, no, I like that response by SortOf. I think the reason he went for that rushed horseman so quickly is because he did see that his wood line and stone are susceptible to those early English longbowmen, and you can get absolutely cooked if you don't prepare for them at all. I've seen some Holy Roman Empires not decide to go for that stable early on and get absolutely rinsed by those early cross, because it's only like 4 of them, but they can ruin the whole game. And that guy is doing God's work, it seems. There we go. He's going to drop it down. And now he's beside it. Now he has a plan for the early archery range, which I saw that I've seen this out of Demu actually when he played Lucifron. Went for the early archery range just to match the longbowman strat of LoueMT, but Louis not going for any mass archers, so there's not really any need for this much aggression. He's going for that TC, and now SortOf sees it.
Yeah, so Louis only produced the one longbow. He stuck it in here with the villagers. I think it's a little bit confused on what it's meant to do here. I don't think he realizes that he's a longbow, but yeah, it's interesting that he stuck it in here with the. Is this a misclick, or is he? I'm a little bit confused of why he's made one longbow.
I think it's just to get a little bit. I mean, there's no harm in it. I think it's such a
Maybe
cheap
it's the
thing.
Vision? Is it the vision?
Just
do you think?
For vision.
Does longbow have a decent vision? As we can see there, I think it is. Have a look at the vision from the singular longbow. You know, he's keeping guard on the stone here, while the horsemen are out for SortOf. So keeping the one longbow here for the vision. Maybe that's the play.
It's gonna be so bad. Only one archer, only one longbow. If this doesn't go
I think he can kill it with the bows.
Ooh, nice turn. Yeah, I think he can too.
Maybe call in.
English OP, baby. Look at that.
Yeah, have a look at that.
Forever their Civ, that is death.
Yeah.
That is worst case scenario.
To be fair though, SortOf is causing a lot of idle time here, and he is going to be able to take out one villager. So this isn't the end of the world, because we see here he's dropping down his second TC as well. So, you know, he's going to be able to get a nice little lead there. And this, you know, these horsemen, they've caused a lot of idle time right there. Louis going to be able to eventually get back to work here.
I agree. They only got one villager kill though, and I will say SortOf had to invest early on in the stable and 3 horsemen to get that delay. So I think it's pretty much bang on even right now for the investment that SortOf had to do to get that going. But as the HRE player, if you're going even on trades, then you're winning.
Yeah, precisely. Now, Louis, hello. What is this? When do we see English players look to use berries? This is not something that I am used to seeing.
I don't know. Maybe because no sheep.
Yeah, but usually we see English players just look to go straight into farms. And he's got a few sheep under here.
I think it's because maybe he didn't have that much wood, so he didn't want to waste it on that just in case. But
possibly. Kind of an odd one.
Oh, he also has the deer up top, so maybe he's just like.
He's grabbing survival techniques now, so maybe it's just for that upgrade. But yeah,
exactly.
Interesting position. We see SortOf here, looking towards a castle age now. I'd expect. As we see quite a bit of food and gold is on the way. As we see, he's got another gold over here on his second TC. And what I'm saying in the chat, maybe just a misclick. Yeah, that's what I'd expect. I mean, I guess under pressure, right? You just want to grab survival techniques, and your usual approach for most civilizations would to just be, you know, stick the mill on a berry patch or something. So that's probably his idea.
I agree, and I agree with Wham. It doesn't really matter too, because it's so cheap, such a cheap upgrade. So I think that's also why a lot of people have been getting it so early on. So it should be totally okay.
It's like SortOf going to be reaching that resource count for the castle age. What do you think he's going to be edging up with here?
I mean, I think SortOf's going to go for Regnant's Cathedral. I think it's going to be pretty standard. I don't think he's going to be going.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be going Burgrave. That'd be a wild move. And I think Louis is probably going to go King's Palace. Just standard across the board. There's Regnant's going down now. And we'll see what Louis decides to go up with. He's floating a lot of gold, so he's going to be going up soon, so we'll know the answer to that. But I'm guessing it's going to be King's Palace as well.
Yeah, I'd expect so. I mean, maybe if we saw 3 TCs from Louis here, then I'd expect a White Tower. But yeah, in this case, I think it will be the King's Palace. Not exactly sure where he could place it, but probably just be somewhere in the back here, maybe on the wood line.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think the White Tower is the move right now, so we'll see how it goes from here.
There it is, King's Palace. Going to be coming up on the right-hand side of the wood line here. Going to be getting the berries in there as well. But, yeah, 12 villagers on that landmark right there. SortOf going to be reaching the castle age. And Louis at the moment doesn't have a lot out on the map. He only has 2 longbows out, so I doubt he's going to be able to deny away any of the relics here. So this could be huge for SortOf to be able to pick up. You know, I think it could be 4 relics here. We see 2 of them already getting picked up here. 2 of the furthest out. And he's going to be able to pick up these 2, which are relatively close to the base. And we see at the moment, villager counts very, very even. So, SortOf picking up these relics is absolutely huge for him.
Yeah, he's in a really, really good spot right now. And King's Palace is still far from away. So there's no knights on the map for the English. There's no counteracting ways to pick up these relics, so SortOf must be feeling really good right now. Now knights are coming out for him as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Louis does have down a 3rd TC in the form of this King's Palace, so we're able to slowly extend out his lead of his villager count. But yeah, having 4 Holy Roman Empire relics in is huge. It's you know, the equivalent of 8 relics.
Yeah, and now he's going to put that in that forward-facing tower as well, just to really secure that front gold. He's going to plop it in once it's done. Or he's going to be rude and not plop it in to prove the point.
There we go.
There
Yeah.
he.
I mean,
I was gonna say, just gift it to him. Jeez.
this is something that we don't see out of all players, but it's something that I always advocate for, right? It's to put your relics inside your outposts. Because relics and outposts are absolutely, I wouldn't say overpowered, but it just helps so much. And you still get the same amount of gold, but the most important thing is you just need to make sure you grab your fortification upgrades, because you don't want this being taken away from you, quickly.
Exactly. And it's nice in that forward-facing gold, too. It's going to make that nice, safe and sound, because we see Louis also getting some knights as well, which, I mean, it's pretty standard in this matchup, the knight transition, going to crossbowmen and knights, sometimes archers and knights. It depends on what the competition is on the other side of the map, but knights are usually the standard because they also provide so much map control in this matchup.
Louis going very heavy on the knights, triple stable, not actually producing out any of them, though. He's struggling a little bit on food, can barely keep up with his town center production right now. And he's on the berries, which, again, this isn't something that we typically see with the English. Usually we see players look to go straight into farms, instead of going for the berries here. So a little bit rough for Louis. Barely just doesn't have enough food income at the moment. Sort of on the other front, he's looking alright when it comes to his food income. Bringing up all of the relics into the bank. Fourth one has just been delivered. We see here. Villagers for Louis gonna get taken out.
Oh, they're just running for their
So many
absolute
villagers.
lives. Yeah, I'm a little... it's one thing to take the berries that are close by. Now I'm a little bit confused why we're risking English villagers going all the way out to the sides of the deer.
Yeah. And like, sort of... Yeah, it's pretty predictable that the Holy Roman Empire will be going into knights at this point in the game. So, it's something that Louis probably should have foreshadowed. Maybe have got down a wall or something like that. But we just see here so much idle time for Louis. It's definitely a rough game for him. Sort of in such a great position right now. At an equal villager count, despite being on 2 versus 3 TCs. And also has the equivalent of 8 relics in the bank.
And on top of that, the Holy Roman Empire gets that 40% speed when they're in the range of the Achaean Chapel and the Prelates, so even though it's even, it's not really even at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Nice farms coming down now from SortOf as well. Also still mining up a little bit of stone. Is he going for another TC? They only got 3 villagers on there. Might be just slowly saving up for a keep, but have a look at this. Louis losing out on even more villagers. He's just... This is not the classic English thing. English is, they're known for their farms. But Louis he's just getting food from everywhere else. And he's losing so many villas because of it. He just can't keep a lead. Sort of just constantly ahead when it comes to the villager count.
Yeah, just make farms. It's not like they even run out of food. Like, it's such an easy transition, I feel like, at this point. I mean, again, Louis is a 10 times better player than I am, so maybe there's a method to this madness, but I feel like now losing 12 villagers because of this, it's just not, it can't be worth it anymore.
Yeah. And, it feels bad when you're playing as the English and you're down on vills up against a player with less town centers than you. Like, this is sort of English's thing, right? It's hard to kill their villagers because it's so condensed in the base. They love turtling. But we see more raids coming in here from SortOf. Continuing the night push.
Yeah, SortOf has shown time and time again that he is so good at these raids, just getting every little bit. LoueMT trying to do a little bit of backwards work. He does get 3 villagers, which is nice. Those 2 towers up front with the emplacements are able to take out one knight, or actually skates away with just 1 sliver of health.
SortOf just picking off so many villagers here. Does look like Louis is able to recover pretty quickly, as we do see him. He is constantly getting a little bit of ahead of SortOf, but
Louis lost that Malian game, and then I don't know. We don't know what's going on with the farm stuff, but it is what it is. Hopefully Louis can start to make that farm transition soon.
we haven't had a single farm. We haven't had a single farm. I mean, do you remember when we used to see English farms in the Dark Age. It's still a thing we see, but not as much anymore. But we have a farm coming, a mill in the Dark Age, and then we'd have 4 farms before we even click up. That used to be like a pretty standard build order. I think it still is somewhat of a standard build order.
You can still get away with it if you want to go the 2-2-2 build that BC does with the wheelbarrow. And once you have that mill right next to your town center, you just drop some farms down the second you start running out of sheep.
Exactly. But Louis, you know, with 16 minutes into the game and still is farmless, which is, I mean, maybe he's onto something here. I don't know, but it's just something we don't see.
I'm gonna wait and see. Before I hold judgment, I'm gonna wait and see. But I think he lost villagers. Getting some good value back there with the knights, though. Does have a nice solid knight mass, even more than his opponent.
Yeah, Louis looking pretty strong here when it comes to knight numbers. But sort of, he's got the perfect counter here. He's got a decent number of crossbows, up to 15. Louis now gonna start to add in some longbow to counteract that. Looks like the wall's going to get replaced here. Maybe we see a keep drop coming in soon from SortOf. He's stacking up quite a bit of stone. 614 in the bank. Not exactly sure where he's gathering the stone from. He's got 11 bills on stone. Oh, it's here. It's here. So I think we're going to be seeing a keep from him very, very soon. But at the moment, both players just very happy sitting in their base. Not really making any massive moves, just trying to get off some raids here and there with their knights. This is probably where we want to see SortOf. Yeah, there we go. Going to be reacting now by bringing his crossbows back over here. Outpost's going to get rushed up here for SortOf. Looks like Louis going to be retreating back for the time being. And have a look at this. Farming hill for Louis.
Well, you know what? He heard the criticism, but he also didn't want to deal with any raids, so he puts it on its own little pedestal, which I love. So we finally see the farm transition, the latest I've ever seen an English farm transition at 16 minutes into the game. Here we go, a little bit of a night battle, trying to make sure that that outpost doesn't go up. It is going to go up eventually, spreading that tower network of castles just a little bit farther, which make it so much nicer for the English to fight when they have that buff going on.
Scout gonna get taken out there for SortOf. May even be losing a knight hit. Yeah, that's gonna be going down. Oh, that looks like he saves it.
Wow, turn on the boost there. That knight really didn't want to die.
You could just tell these two players love the late game, right? It's like we've seen not a whole lot of early pressure here. We're starting to see a little bit now more with the ram coming down here from Louis. But yeah, these players, I think they like their late game. And,
it's almost like when we see the players select, it's almost like we've chosen to go over 20 minutes, almost guaranteed. And it keeps going down for SortOf right out front, which I do like this just to protect. Maybe he has a sixth sense of that ram coming down, or maybe he scouted it and just saw that Lou was massing out front.
I mean, this is a good position for it, right? Like, he maybe would have liked to have gone a little bit further forward, trying to get that gold. But this is still a good position to eventually creep forward onto this gold mine. So we do have, I would say, a pretty rigged spawn here for SortOf when it comes to gold. I mean, have a look at these two golds right next to the base of SortOf. Fortunately for Louis, he doesn't have too much gold, but he is playing the English, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue for him once he gets enclosures.
Yeah, it won't be too bad. Louis still producing just tons and tons of knights, got the crossbowmen involved, but now we just have...
We see the army value for SortOf there, just significantly ahead, up by 4,000 right there.
It is incredible. Now they're raiding. These crossbowmen are going to be able to get up and over around now the knights are coming back, as well as to provide some support.
Looks like those knights will get caught out, fortunately. But SortOf just doing his thing again, right? Just constant raids, just everywhere on the map.
Yeah, really trying his best to do as much as he possibly can. Death by 1,000 cuts is the way he's trying to end this game yet again. And honestly, SortOf is probably sitting in a very good position exploding tons of resources, but it's because he's the HRE. He has so much production right now. His economy left untouched with those 4 relics is sitting in such a good spot. And we're going to see more villagers go down.
If he spots it.
Oh, they're hanging. Well, I mean, he probably doesn't even expect villagers to be there.
What is going on right now? Oh, there they go. A little bit late for SortOf, but he's going to be aging up now with the Elsbach Palace in a perfect position here, as we spoke about earlier. SortOf just going to be slowly creeping forward here. Elsbach Palace going to be securing up that gold. And Louis is going to be losing a couple more builds right there, but going to be losing some knights. Well, it's sort of going to be losing some knights for it. SortOf just looking to keep up the pressure here with knights up by, well, in fact, Louis got a ton of knights right now. He's up to 27. That's a huge amount of knights.
Yeah, Louis has a mass going on and upgrades coming in, but it's just one of those things where he's on the back foot constantly. So these knights are now getting separated apart, getting picked off one by one. And SortOf doing a great job at just making sure that, I will say, the crossbowman came in and got a nice volley off there.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice value. But SortOf, he's up to the next stage now. Louis looks like he may be macroing towards an age up himself. But SortOf, you know, he's still got a decent massive crossbow back at home here. And he's got the Elsbach Palace up. He's got a lovely position here. It's going to be really, really difficult for Louis to try and push onto this. The Elsbach is such a difficult landmark to push on. And I would love for SortOf to actually bring a couple of the relics here. That's what he's going to be doing. Have a look at that. It's almost as if I saw the prelate making its way over to the Reglands. But he's going to be bringing this relic over to the Elsbach. And this is just going to make this landmark, you know, like, it's going to be pretty much impossible for Louis to push onto this without some serious siege.
Yeah, I would also even love for the relic that's in that tower, I think behind that keep, to be moved up into wherever, yeah, move it up into the keep itself.
Yeah, exactly. That relic will get dropped off soon. As we do see cannon placement comes through. We see just insta-kills that that knight right there. But Louis looking to put on the pressure now. We've got elite upgrades coming in. We've got elite spears. No elite crossbows yet, though. Mangonel also here on the front line for SortOf. Going to be able to take some good shots onto the crossbows, hopefully, as the relic does get placed inside of the Elsbach. We've got access to emergency repairs as well, which is always nice to see for the Holy Roman Empire, as it is connected all the way back here to the capital town center. Or, that's not the capital, but a town center. And the Mangonel. Let's see if we can get some good shots off. It looks like it's focusing down the knights for the time being, but we got elite spears in right here. Louis still not looking towards that Imperial age. It's going to be enough to push back Louis here. And emergency repair is going to come in. And these, these battering rams will get taken out. SortOf looking in an increasingly better and better position here. He's got access to all of the gold on the map at the moment. We see Stonewall's going to be coming up here as well. He's looking in such good position.
Yeah, with that emergency repair, it really turned into just an absolute destruction. And that relic popping in just at the right time when the forces finally came in, and that upgrade of the spearmen into those H4, as you mentioned, turned into a very one fight there for SortOf.
We've also got a culverin out here from SortOf as well. Something that Louis will not have access to. So he's going to be looking towards the Imperial Age now himself. But this is a perfect opportunity for SortOf to push onto Louis. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. We've got a Berkshire coming down. Have a look at this. Oh, that is a thumbnail and a half if I've ever seen one.
That's true. That looks real nice up there. That is a nicely placed. That is nicely played Berkshire.
I know there's action right now, but oh yeah. All right. Anyway, back to the action now. We see SortOf going to be pushing on the left-hand side here, and he's actually going to be taking out the keep of Louis here. Louis doesn't have boiling oil through, so the spearmen here may actually be enough to be able to take down this keep. 15 villagers do sit inside though, so
maybe on the way, but I think it's gonna be way too late.
Yeah.
Louis trying to respond, but these keeps next to it too. They might. I mean, what's in there? Is it no? There's no village. I would pop those out right now and clean it up.
I think he can repair this up and keep it alive, but we see on the left-hand side here, Louis going to be aging up. Taking a relatively even fight here. We got no elite upgrade in yet for the crossbowman mass, which I'm kind of surprised about. I feel like elite crossbow here could have made a huge difference. As we see, SortOf isn't going to be able to take this fight Well, he is going to be able to take it, but not going to be exactly good for him, as we do see Longbow are going to be able to absolutely shred through this mass. Sort of just throwing away so much army there. And we see here villagers were able to keep the keep alive. Going to be losing quite a few of them, though, in the process. Sort of. It seems like he's just lost a whole load of army.
Yeah, now we see the siege coming out for SortOf. He's going to really start to put it in the hyperdrive to really try to take this down. That keep did survive, though. Really showing resiliency on that one. And at that point, when the boiling oil comes out, it's going to be able to defend itself against this ram, too.
Huge there for Louis. You see that? Just going to be repairing that one back up as well. Sacred sites, unfortunately, for SortOf, are not going to be able to be captured up because of this Berkshire Palace. Have a look at that. I mean, I feel like this is mini the pit right here.
I mean, it's an absolute perfect spot. Aesthetically pleasing as well. Whatever king or queen or duke lives in that thing is having themselves a grand old time.
That is beautiful right there. But Louis, looks like he's grabbed his elite longbow upgrade. Going to be looking to hold on to this position a little bit longer. Boiling oil is now through, so maybe wants to bring the longbow near the keep, just so the boiling oil does affect these horsemen as well. Looks like SortOf is now looking to go into hand cannoneers and men-at-arms. I like this composition a lot. I think that's a smart move to make. Keep maybe going down here.
Finally, he's going to go down, I think.
It's going to be close. One more hit. Oh, is it going to go? It's going to go down. There it is. I feel like Louis could have saved that, to be honest, but
if he turned it around and started repairing instead of, focusing the ram. But it's so close. I mean, it's such an important keep, though.
It doesn't matter. Just stick a new one down.
Oh, I'm so salty after that. After that much work. Brand new one just pops up in its place, brand new.
It's like SortOf is capturing up one of the sacred sites here. I just realized these aren't the same player walls. I was wondering why there's a bit of a gap here, but it's like, yeah, these aren't the same player.
Yep, two sides colliding.
Yeah.
It's a mutual gap. They're like, this is where we fight, right here. This is the agreed upon terms. If we don't fight through here, we don't fight through at all.
Keep's going to start to take some fire from SortOf. Looks like many fights going on for SortOf right now. This is really what it excels at. Just fights constantly all over the map. His micromanagement really strong here. He's going to be using the bombard though. It's a huge... there's a lot of resources gone right there. 900.
I'm so close. Looks like we have some rage kind of coming in from Louis, but both sides are doing the best they can to disrupt the economies of the other. Pretty even split though. Both sides just meeting. It's just like the classic late game English versus HRE.
Yeah.
We're both fully farmed up. We have all the upgrades, all the bonuses.
I gotta say, I love the look of Holy Roman Empire hand cannoneers. They just look like a golden blob.
They do look nice, I'm not gonna lie to you. We see the siege coming down. We have rage going down by the Louis, trying to get that culver in as quickly as possible. The Rams rolling up all by its lonesome. These mangonels are doing a lot of work.
Yeah, they need to get on top of the longbow though. Insufficient stone coming through now from Louis. Not gonna be able to keep the stone alive. Doesn't have any stone income whatsoever. Mangonel's just not looking to focus down the longbow here. As a keep is coming in here now from SortOf. SortOf looking very strong when it comes to army value. Almost double the value right there. Mangonels really do need to get forward here though. Like, if they get a couple shots onto those longbow, that could be absolutely huge.
Yeah, I mean, if those mangonels we have an attempted right back there, but the mangoes are doing a great job at holding off this army. The Rams are pulling in constantly, and they finally get a nice, good shot onto those archers, and they continue to move around. LoueMT is doing a great job at microing, but these mangonels will eventually get through this archer mass if they're allowed, but one Springhold's doing a lot of work on the backhand side.
I'm wondering if Louis is starting to struggle a little bit on gold. Like, sure, he's got a lot of gold in the bank, but he's just run out of this gold mine over here. And he's got only access to this one left. Like, obviously he's English and he's playing, you know, he's got enclosures. But he may be still struggling a little bit when it comes to gold in, like, you know, the next maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's not enough to sustain an army with a jury that has access to gold.
Especially since the enclosure's nerf.
And there goes down that keep. And it looks like he's mining, sort of his mining last stone, so he's probably going to keep drop even further as well.
SortOf is loving the rams. I think he's grabbed his lightweight beams. Yeah, he's grabbed most of the upgrades here in the Siege Workshop, so gonna have some really, really good rams here. Looks like he's just keeping up pressure here with the horsemen. Another bombard comes out from the Siege Workshop, looking to finally take out this keep. I mean, the gold's been extracted here from Louis, so it's not going to be the end of the world for him. He's going to be all right losing that keep, but it does open the opportunity for SortOf to push to the right-hand side.
Yeah, and for SortOf drop his own keeps forward as well. And just keep closing off this map more and more for Louis. The more map control, the better, because then these trebuchets and bombards can start to hit the production. And inevitably, once you get into that English base, if you can take out those mills, then it's really going to really hurt the English economy.
Yeah, exactly. But Louis looking to add in more and more farms. It's looking pretty strong right now.
Trying to get as much gold as possible as well. So just build a stockpile of food, but you also get gold as a byproduct.
I'm sure SortOf's tried to capture this multiple times already. This is just a death pit right here.
Yeah, that pass is not where you want to be anymore. We do see SortOf finally moving up to get into range, finally into the English base. We see someone finally moving forward. We see some horsemen over here on the left-hand side doing a lot of damage to this wall. They're going to skirt through. They're going to get themselves a few farms, but not the farm transition that you would assume to be over here. There's only 2 randomly over here.
Well, they're just going to get taken out.
There we go. SortOf has killed 60 villagers at this point.
Yeah,
a lot of damage from these raids.
It's huge. We actually see SortOf just continuously pressuring here with just horsemen everywhere on the map. He's the mini-map ping legend. That's what I would call him. There's just, look at all the pings going off on the mini-map right now. Now this mill is under attack. This gate's under attack. This farm's under attack. This is under attack. Just every attack's going off absolutely everywhere right now.
Yeah, Death by 1,000 cut SortOf loves all of these little things, and as I mentioned, getting into that farm eco for the English is so important. And if he's able to continue to stream horsemen back there, it's gonna be a real problem for Louis to continue on.
I see so many idled farms right now. Looks like Louis is going to be returning the favor though, if he can get there, that is. It seems like SortOf, he's done a decent job here stonewalling. We see lots of stone walls have come up from him. But there's a little bit of a gap here if he can look to burn down that gate. Oh, okay, maybe not. Stone wall is up there, so. Looks like SortOf just keeping up the raid still.
75 villagers. He keeps, every time he raids, he gets at least 10 or 12 villager kills, which is absolutely insane. In cannoneer, in line, they're reloading every time, they're killing a unit every time they fire off at the current moment. And Louis is just having a really tough time getting some good trades with these archers, but at this point, I don't think SortOf really cares, just honestly making trades in the base, because the more he streams in units, as you can see the red line across the map, just streaming constantly. And these archers are not doing nearly enough damage. The Berkshire Palace is trying to do its best, but kind of up and away, a beautiful space up top, but Louis can't even take down these forward keeps.
Yeah, but I think the longer and longer Louis can hold, the better it's going to be for him. Because SortOf, he's only got this gold remaining. He's used up this gold over here. We see empty patch. He's got this gold in the base here and this one here. If he runs out of gold, I think Louis could still win this, but he needs to just hold on. Because we see his food income right now is massively above what SortOf's is. He's up in wood eco, but it's really just the gold. So if SortOf runs out of gold and Louis is still able to hold on, this could be a turnaround here for Louis. But SortOf's still in a great position for the time being, making some really good progress here. Keep going to be coming up on the front line. Cannon being repaired up here as well. Archer is still up, but it's under a little bit of a trebuchet fire. May have been taken out though, so yeah, looks like it's going to be standing for the time being.
That is true, but I will say SortOf also has the fort relics as well, so not going to be fully empty of gold even when he runs out of those couple sites. But Louis playing up a great hold right now, doing the best they can, but there's like 3 keeps in a row where all this siege starting to pop out, and it's going to be really rough for Louis to deal with.
Yeah, and we've also got 2 sacred sites here for SortOf as well. It's going to be an extra 200 gold a minute. It's always nice to, you know, a nice little bit of gold income right there.
We have the bombard picking off people left and right. We have a town center.
Yep. So this is so the this keep here can be given emergency repairs.
Oh yes, that's a good call. That means when you're flush with resources, though, when you're starting to make those kind of calls.
Yeah. It makes sense, right? Because you're not having to invest, you know, hundreds of stone into keeping this keep alive. Instead, just using emergency repairs here. So it's kind of smart. And
oh no, I completely agree. It's a really good play.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Another engage, but they're engaging into mangonels and culverins and a keep. And now that town center done, the emergency repairs can go down if need be. It looks like they're just engaging into so much siege, and the mangonels are getting so much value in the backhand side, and there's more mangonels just rolling up. The villagers they're not even bothered. They're still just mining gold away, like nothing's even happening around them. This keep is going to get the emergency repaired, which is absolutely huge. The mangonels shooting 1 archer at a time, but still doing so much work. Here comes the rams, but they won't be able to do anything against that. They're essentially just tickling with the keep. They haven't even taken out the tower yet, not to mention the keep itself. And it looks like Louis is going to be pushed back from his base. Mangonel's getting some juicy shots onto these villagers, which, as you can see, another one's going to go down over here, and boom. Just money shot after money shot into the village. Almost 100 villagers killed and no gold for Louis.
Yeah, Louis out of gold. This is the issue we were talking about earlier. Once you run out of this gold, he only had this one here, but which SortOf's taken. And now Louis is just relying off just the enclosures and the singular relic he's got in the bank.
Wherever you can, I don't know where you can, but there was horsemen attacking a bunch of villagers, and they're down to 100. There it is, 107 villagers killed from SortOf. SortOf is doing so good at these small little raids. Louis is trying his best and using all the APM left in his locker. This is kind of insane.
Louis has managed to take out the keep though. He's had lots of rams here. Looks like the TC will be going down with it.
Emu said it also spreads the Elizabeth Elsbach influence a lot stronger to the keep as well.
Ah, right, yeah.
Which is really nice.
That makes sense.
Look at that little line, the conga line all the way forward. Oh my goodness, just into the siege, just into the meat grinder right now.
Yeah.
For Louis.
You see here, SortOf's army value significantly ahead. It looks like Louis struggling to keep up with his with the population count. SortOf, it's just taken out so many villagers this game. Looks like he's going to be breaking through once again. Louis unable to get down some proper stone walls. He attempted over here on the right hand side, but yeah, unable to get the full wall up. Mangonels are going to get taken out.
This is just a meat grinder. It's unbelievable. We've just seen so many units die. And Demo, I hope, however, your other matches went. I hope they went well for you. I have not seen the results, but I hope they went well and you had fun. They're gonna have to retreat finally. Keep now moving back to. You're gonna have to retreat to his 3rd keep back here. So still pretty safe. Yeah. And we see the lobbying back. The mangonels safe and sound, tucked away back here, and eventually they'll be taken out. But this is just absolutely insane.
I mean, yeah, SortOf. Let's have a look to see what his gold situation's like. He's only got 2,500 left on this one. Still got 2,500 left on that one, but after that, he's going to be out of gold. This is really where I feel like Louis could bring it back if he can just hold on for as long as he possibly can.
He's doing his best right now. He is trying so hard. He is not giving up at all. He has that beautiful, beautiful Berkshire Palace placement up top with the beautiful view. Oh yes, there's that thumbnail again, as it is. Oh, we have more meat grinder going on.
It's gonna be Horseman coming out now from Louis.
Yeah, he can make essentially infinite of these.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it's kind of hard to get some raids off onto SortOf. Like the whole right side's walled off. The left side, there is a little bit of an entrance point here, but it's still rather difficult. But Louis he's trying his best to find a way past the keeps, past the units, past the other walls. And there we do see SortOf is now going to be addressing this problem.
And we have the herd of rams coming down. Ram ranch coming down. Hopefully to do some damage. Look at this. The lads are out and about. The villagers are getting involved. We're just throwing everything into this. LoueMT he might finally make a push forward, but the rams are being stopped at this tower and they're trying to get through, but nothing can really stick.
I mean, the amount of mangonels here and the Culverin. The Culverin are huge here, SortOf.
Goodness.
The mangonels are able...
I don't know how many resources have died in this exact spot.
Yeah, probably quite a bit. We can see here destruction value extremely high for both players. It's actually relatively even here. SortOf's is slightly ahead, but still relatively even, considering that SortOf has killed 125 villagers this game. That's only going to increase here.
English farms, he finally built them. He can just keep this going forever.
SortOf, it looks like he's struggling a little bit on the food front now. He doesn't have too much.
SortOf loses these siege, this could be the turning point for Louis. If Louis can snipe a few of these mangonels and make this entrance a little bit less scary, eventually the trade's going to go in favor of Louis, as you mentioned, because of just how good these farms are.
The English late game, unstoppable. And we see here, I mean, SortOf's still got, like, it's still 3,000 food a minute, but we've got 3,600 food a minute coming in from Louis. I'm sure, yeah, we see here the gold looking a little bit dry. But yeah, as you said earlier on, we still got 4 relics in for SortOf, as well as 2 sacred sites.
Yeah, Louis now lost 142 villagers. I think they got a few snipes in those mangoes.
I mean, in saying that, SortOf's also lost 43, so that's quite a significant amount as well.
It is. But they're getting 100 piece in the villager count is always kind of cool.
Oh, a huge mangonel shot onto the hand cannoneers right there. Huge value for SortOf. As Louis at the moment doesn't have much gold income.
My goodness, this is an absolute slaughter. These mangoes, it's just... I do wonder if there's ever... Like, I mean, I guess Louis has to keep fighting here because if he ever stops, then the SortOf is pushing in the game, but it just seems like we're banging our head against the wall right here. Eventually can trickle in. It looks like SortOf is going to keep the exact same position. I was going to say, we haven't seen the classic SortOf start to raid each side. This is just unreal.
Yeah, I'm surprised SortOf hasn't tried to get more raids off here. We can see he's trying a few with some knights here and there. But Louis hasn't had, you know, he hasn't got some stone walls up here yet, so I'm kind of surprised here by SortOf, but, you know, he's just really focusing on the left-hand side here, trying to get somewhere with this siege push.
Yeah, SortOf does get into these long games all the time. It's his absolute favorite. I've been casting for 2 days, and I've had 6 SortOf matches. I'm going to lose my voice soon at this point, because every time it's over 50 minutes for this man. I love casting, but my goodness. Can we have some Feudal Age all-ins for crying out loud, people?
It's good for the content, though. It's good for the content. You know, it's better than like, you know, 3 10-minute games, right?
I would agree with you, but I wouldn't hate just one 10-minute game. Oh.
You know it's bad when Louis sending in horsemen and they're getting insta-killed by mangonels, and Louis just gonna tap out like that. Wow, okay. It seems like he doesn't want to carry on this battle. He probably could have held on for a little bit longer, but yeah, it's understandable, right? Yeah. And so there it is. SortOf going to be taking the series 2-1 right there. What a crazy last match we just had. Let's take a quick look at the village account.
That was insane, but absolutely GG's to both of these two players. They've been playing out of their minds. SortOf is really doing super well. He looks like a surprising, could sneak into that top 8 if he continues. I know Louis had his sights set on that, so this is a huge win for SortOf.
Yeah, indeed.